What's good with you folks? This is Ray Davis coming to you with the truth. This is I Need a Mic podcast where I will be discussing mental health struggles I battle with just like you. Let's talk about the tagline I use is to say enough is enough. Give me my damn mic. I'm tired. The trauma I'm going through. Hey y'all, what's up? What's up? What's up? How y'all doing? How y'all doing? Hold on. Drink some water real quick. Alright. So hello folks. Before I get started with tonight's episode, I'm put a content warning. Content warning. If there's anything I have or has said in previous episode that had offended you or anyone you have shared any episode with, I'd like to apologize. I would like to also remind you I'm not condoning what I said on my podcast. I'm real, I'm authentic, and I'm a warrior. I'm no longer censored. I'm no longer limited. I'm no longer silent. Mental health will censor you. Mental illness will limit you, and mental emotions will silence you. Hey y'all, what's up? What's up? What's good? How everybody doing tonight? Man, with this bipolar weather, I can only ask if folks can pray for everyone out there who is homeless and who's struggling to seek any type of shelter. Um, it's just crazy just to think about it, but it's just as crazier just to speak on it. Um, I do hope everybody's out there being safe, though. I do. All right, so today's episode is titled Boundaries. Boundaries, boundaries, boundaries. So, I also have a new piece with this episode as well, too. Uh, it's been a minute since I done some educated info on some things that really involves us, you know? But tonight gonna be a little different. Tonight gonna be a little different. I'ma speak on I'm gonna speak on the boundaries and give off the meanings of the boundaries. But I'm also say in AKA Ray Ray. AKA what? AKA in Ray's way. Alright, so first is boundaries and then we're gonna go on to physical, emotional. Hold on. Yeah, I was right. Physical, emotional, and time. All right. So first thing is boundaries. Boundaries are invisible lines that defines what behaviors are acceptable for an individual. This can be physical, emotional, or based on time or space. Physical boundaries. Uh oh. Wait. Hold on. Boundaries in Ray's way. It's your gut feeling telling you something ain't right. That's the boundaries in Ray's Ray. Is it's the gut feeling telling you something ain't right. And ain't the math ain't math in here. The math ain't math in here. If you can't feel it physically, you can't feel it emotionally, then it somebody clock need to be clicking. It need to be click clack because don't be wasting my time if I know my gut is not wrong on what it's telling me, respectfully. All right. So next one, physical boundaries. These boundaries define your personal space and comfort with physical touch. For example, you might be comfortable with hugs, but another person might prefer more space. In Ray's way, okay, I got you. Uh huh. All right. I didn't know. That is not you are not a hugger. No. If there's I remember meeting someone who wasn't a hugger and then later on they end up being a hugger. And then at that time I got used to them not being a hugger. Man. But there's no funny way There's no funny way. There's no raised way around that. That's very clear. That's very clear. Just like how a person's body language is very clear, that is very clear. So, emotional boundaries. These boundaries define your thoughts, feelings, and emotional well being. For example, you might recognize and respect your own emotional needs and limits. In Ray's way, hey, my gut is telling me what is happening. It's not going to benefit me in any type of way. Emotionally, I may not be able to recover. Feelings mentally about it, yeah. I may not know how to recover. And any thoughts, I should most likely change my mind on doing something that I know I may actually regret later on. That's in Ray's way. Like, do I want to emotionally? No, 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 no. I don't want to emotionally make a bad decision that I cannot pay for it later on. So it's like, I can't afford that. No. So, time boundaries. These boundaries define how you spend your time. For example, you might set aside time for work, relationships, and hobbies. In Ray's term, if you know for a fact you love to write, you love to dance, you love to read, you love to game, you love to draw, you love to crochet, you love to paint, you love just to keep yourself busy. However, that is physically, mentally, and emotionally. But you haven't yet set the time for yourself because everything else, life is lifing with you right now. And it's like, I want to spend my time here, but my time is telling me to go there. Set that time for yourself, folks. Set that time for yourself, folks. So, one of the other things I had decided to look up was, we know my podcast is based on mental health and mental awareness, emotional health, emotional awareness, physical health, and physical wellness. Excuse me. So I wanted to do the proper research to look up how does boundaries affect your affect everything about you mentally and emotionally. And so I'm gonna be discussing, what does the boundaries do for you and your well being? Alright, so identify your needs. Oh, good one, right? Identify your needs. Alright, hold on. Hold on. Computer wanna act up. Computer wanna act up. Alright, there we go. Alright, so identify your needs means understand what makes you uncomfortable or triggers any type of bad feelings. Whew. Now, I don't have no raised way with these other um meetings. Is the meeting speaks for themselves. They really do. I was like, oh, that's cool. let me let me do that. Put that in the episode, right? So set limits. Decide what you're willing to do and what you're not. You got to set those limits if you're not comfortable. You got to set those limits if something is start to trigger any type of bad feelings. You got to set those limits and just know what is good for you and what is not good for you. What's healthy for you, what's not healthy for you. You got to set those limits. And of course, communicate. Express your feelings honestly and assertively. Huh. If you know someone had disrespected you, and you know, and you remember, matter of fact, and you remember how you felt when that moment had occurred, would you tell yourself honestly that you associating yourself with someone or something is going to happen or it's not going to happen? Like, is there a future meeting? Like, okay, I see myself doing something again with this person or do something again with that people or doing, it's like, okay, I see myself doing, but if you communicate your feelings honestly, knowing you were disrespected, what is the best decision for you to do when you want to assert your feelings? Me personally, I started to say what is not going to happen. And it's not me saying that to have people call my bluff. I mean that assertively. If I say it's not going to happen, meaning it's not going to happen. So respect yourself. That's it's another one. Don't tolerate disrespectful behavior and prioritize your own needs. Whew. Say it again for somebody in the back, in the far back. Respect yourself. Don't tolerate disrespectful behavior and prioritize your own needs. Whew, man. Meaning, stop letting people walk over you. Stop letting people step over you. Stop allowing people to view you less than, to expect so less out of you, but blatantly and disrespectfully express it. Stop allowing that behavior. Stop stop letting that behavior just swirl around in your mind. Your needs don't need that. So practice. We gotta practice self-care. Make time for activities that help you feel good. Make time for activities that help you feel good. This podcast make me feel good. Writing these episodes make me feel good. Writing these poetries, these poems for these episodes make me feel good. Yo, I have over 100 poems now. I had to put that out there. I had to put that out there. That makes me feel good. Knowing that my gift, my craft, my main squeeze, my love of my life is making me feel good. And I put the time back into her to say, I know what helps me with me. And so the last one now, the last one, y'all gonna love it. Say no. That's the last one. Say no. Don't feel guilty about declining requests, especially when you're already overwhelmed. If you're going through it, whatever is going on with you, life is life. And this rain gonna be having a lot of people. Oh, life is life. And it's going to continue on for how many ever days. If you're already overwhelmed, and life is life with you. You don't have to give off any reasons if the answer is already no. I started to say no. When I started to say no, people, of course, some people would ask why, and I would give up. I was always so opening to give off my explanations, and it's like some people don't deserve it, and I didn't understand the meaning of so much is given and little is required until I started to understand the word no. No. It feels good. It feels good to say it out loud more times. It feels good just to say no thank you. It feels good to say no. It feels good to say not interested. It feels good. Especially if you already know that you already have plans put in place. And you know the time to work on it is now. Because we all learned things the hard way. That time is something that we cannot get back. So when you're already overwhelmed with one thing, stop adding more to your plate. Stop trying to burn the other end of the candle. Stop trying to catch one ball and then work on catching another. Sometimes it's okay for a ball to drop. That's okay. That's okay. You're already overwhelmed. All right. So, all right. So next thing. What's up, Ray? What's up? All right. So, in case you ever wonder, not have I, but when did I start practice boundaries and when did I start it? At first, I was going to recite the poem, but then I was like, now let me go ahead and give off a little bit about myself and why me and boundaries took so long to even have a date. So as I have gotten older and started to take care and started to take my self care seriously, I've come to realize I never understood and never presented my boundaries. Emotionally, I knew I was fed up. Emotionally, I knew I was undefeated with some things, including people. I had interpreted my feelings as anger or someone who I know would say something something like on the nature that they acknowledge that my anger could be emotional baggage. I don't agree with that, and I don't remember I did agree with that when it was mentioned to me or whenever it was, you know, a conversation. Um, Sometimes I feel like emotional baggage is another way for saying I don't understand you. I'm not in your shoes, or I didn't live in your shoes, or I didn't walk in your shoes with you. I don't know what it is that you're going through, or I'm not too sure how to feel about what it is that you have gone through. I know I got my stuff over here, but Ray, what you guys a lot of emotional baggage. No, you're just saying that you misunderstand me. It's okay. You can say that you don't know me. You're still learning to knowing me, and I'm still learning to knowing myself as much too. So it's like it's okay to say other things other than something. To me, I feel like when someone say, "Oh, you're holding a lot of baggage," I feel that is a much easier interpretation on something when it's like there's other things other than saying that. Like, no, that is not what I'm feeling. It's not baggage. It's not baggage. It's, I'm seeking. And I don't know what I'm seeking yet. But my boundary was to not accept easy interpretations. I was like, no, I'm not accepting that no more. That is not happening. So, but what I was feeling, what I was going through, it was called boundaries, of course. On the day I started to understand boundaries, I was in a bad place emotionally. I was very deep into people pleasing attitude until one day I got tired. Then I went and caught the flu, y'all. I got sick afterwards. I got sick afterwards. It was the physical boundary started to take place to show me I need to start setting some space. Once I was feeling better from the flu, I started to make time for things I put on the back burner. Meaning y'all, I wanted to work on my emotional health, but I also wanted to start soul searching. you know, to really give my emotions names without any ill intentions. Like one of the things I do remember is trying to figure out what what type of emotional joy I felt from giving people free hugs all those years ago. Like, Ray, huh? Remember who you are. I had to develop into the reality of knowing I am alone. I am in survival mode. I need to search, recover, and heal. Then were the exact 3 steps I had to take place. Because, y'all, I was crawling. Man, I was crawling. I was ready to get up, stand up, and never, ever give up. You know? So, let me get into this poetry, y'all. So, poetry time, poetry time. So, as I have mentioned, I have over 100 poems now, and it's still counting because I had took upon myself this year to write all new poems for these episodes. There's gonna be some poems I'm not yet ready to recite, and it's because those emotions are still very raw, and I'm still working on recovering from them. But this right here, this is something that I'm proud of. This is something that gives me joy knowing that I wrote something and it's new. And it's like it's a new feeling. It's like it's like how it's like it's like how I'm starting to witness all of my progression as a writer, as a poet. And it's just me looking on the outside of myself and saying, man, we got a new piece, you know? So this piece is titled, They Are Part of Me. They protect me. Tell me when someone is trying to take advantage of me when I really want you to see this heart in me. I'm forced to pull back when I'm noticing how you act. Don't make me sick. My antibodies will attack. In reality, my hands want to do the act. I wasn't capable of acknowledging this part of me. My boundaries are something that saves me from me when I want you to see Rachel. Ray needs some rest. Please. I'm tired of being someone else whenever we speak. But you showed me how you is once. Okay, I see. I'm listening to everything whenever you speak. I agree with you when actually I will agree with you when I actually see your bullshit. You can't touch me. I see you ain't ready for someone like me. I'm calm, but this is ready to be speaking. Why me? Why do I have to build boundaries and fight mentally when emotionally I'm free? Physically, I'm still my worst enemy, so I pick myself up. Nobody can do it but me and Lady G. I turn to her after I notice my lack of self awareness, so she guides me. With all the pain and suffering I've been through, you would ask, how the hell am I still living? I told you, my boundaries, they are part of me. If I never listen to them, then I would not be living. Ho, 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 ho. Hope y'all like that. Hope y'all like that. Hope y'all like that too, bad. If y'all do it, two to the bed. Two to the bed, two to the bed. I ain't tripping. Sure. If you don't like it, I love it. Sure. My poetry makes me feel good. So, how do I feel since I set boundaries? After I have taken the time to do all the work I know I needed to do mentally and emotionally, I wanted to focus on my physical health. And I mean in and out. Into the out. Matter of fact, into the out. Whew. My physical health is like, what about me? You went and got emotional are good. You went and got mental are good. But what about your physical health? What about me? So I wanted to remember how I play basketball, and the joy it gave me when I went to the park and told myself, right? And of course myself saying, huh? We doing this, right? Hell yeah, we doing this, right? Nobody is going to get us up to do this mentally and physically but us. So when my sister had passed, I started to take more time. I started to take my time more seriously. Yeah, I really did. I really did start to take my time more seriously. That boundary kicked in, and I started to feel like a different person emotionally. Whenever you meet me, of course, and you want to do an interview or you want to collab on something, please stand on your business, and I will stand on my business. That's all I can say. The reason why I'm very serious about my boundaries with time is because I've learned the hard way. I've learned the hard way. You can't you can't get time back. And it took suicide for me to be this serious. And just be for real about it. The time I the time I wish I could get back with a lot of people I have just recently lost. And people who I have never formally met. And people I have not reconnected with. Respectfully, the good people who I wanted to reconnect with. I can't get that time back. And it took one tragedy after so many others and before others for me to take my time seriously. Sorry. Mm. So there is some positive um wisdom I would love to say about boundaries. And I will be coming in from the chest on this one. Hold on. Let me sit up straight. Cause y'all gonna hear me out on this one. Hold up. Let me sit up straight. Are you ready? Are you ready for the nonsense to be done? Are you done crawling? Are you ready to identify who you are? Are you ready to set limits? Are you ready to communicate? Are you ready to respect yourself? Are you ready to practice self care? If so, then I'm ready to build a mega department store warehouse. I'm being for real. I'm being for real. Shoot, we're going to be doing a mega department store warehouse. And most importantly, are you ready to say no? With everything I have spoken about in this episode, what's my steps for claiming my independency? Everything I have discussed in this episode was my steps for claiming my independency. And I had to get that back on my own. Of course, I had, like I said, I had some few people I could turn to. You know, people I could speak to at the time I was going through, my search, recovering, and healing journey. It is always wonderful knowing you can turn to people who you. Okay, I'm okay. I'm okay. Whew. I don't know where that came from. I think that was the boundary. It wasn't meant to come out. Whew, I don't think I'm supposed to communicate that. Hold on. Whew, whew, choke me out for a moment. Hold on. Ah, whew. Got eyes watering and everything else. Okay, boundary. Never mind. Shoot. I got the sniffles now. Oh man, hold on. Whew. Eyes holding. Shoot, eyes watering. Hold on now. I want to twitch now too. Hold on. Okay, physical boundary. Come on now. Shoot, I was trying to say something good, trying to end this on a good note. Besides the quote. Shoot. Man. The physical boundary was like, you ain't meant to say that. You ain't meant to say that, Ray. But what I was gonna say was it is nice to know who you can turn to when you're struggling through your own moments understanding you and figuring who you is and just learning to cope with yourself, you know? Whew, hold on. I swear, the physical boundary is like you wasn't meant to say that, Ray. You was not meant to say that, Ray. Okay, physical boundary. Ooh, okay, I'm better. Ah, so uh close out quote. Close out quote. Don't know who said this, but whoever did, thank you. Your boundaries are your limits. Self love, self care, and self respect. If someone doesn't respect your boundaries, then they don't respect you. So give them less access. Distance yourself from them. Minimize your interactions with them. And most importantly, stop respecting them. Ooh. Hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. I didn't know this quote hit this hard now. Hold on now. Okay, hold on. Whew. I gotta say that again. I gotta say that again. For somebody who didn't hear all of that, your boundaries are your limits. Self love, self care, and self respect. If someone doesn't respect your boundaries, they don't respect you. So give them less access. Distance yourself from them. Minimize your interactions with them. And most importantly, stop respecting them. Oh my gosh. Oh, that was deep. Mm. That was deep. But not like this, though. Nah. So now you have heard me speak some truth. This is my way of passing the mic to you. I hope my courage, will, and drive motivate you. Y'all take care, stay safe, and I cannot stress this any further enough. If y'all have kids, please kiss them babies every day.